What is up, everybody, and welcome to the show. This is episode 84 of the Life of Gaming podcast, and I will be your captain on this cruise of video game awesomeness. And according to Sean Capri, that was the longest podcast pregnant pause in the history of podcasts. But it wouldn't be a surprise without Life of Gaming. But it's not just me talking on the show, as you all know, especially if you're watching us live on Twitch right now, which is Twitch TV/Life of Gaming Pod. Find us out on there. But you all know the Luigi to my Mario, the bearded man himself, Mr. Josh Brandt. With his beautiful bass line.
Back again. Brand is back. Tell that James.
Brand is back. Brand is back.
Brand is back. Brand is back. Yes. Wow.
Oh my
I'm
gosh,
not too rusty though. I've been podcasting still.
Oh, that's true. I haven't. Dude, actually, I've been on a few guest shows. Like I've been on Nintendo Nostalgia and stuff, filled in some places here and there. But the last podcast Life of Gaming did was December 3rd, 2017.
That's insane. Wasn't that with John O'Peck?
Yes, it sure was.
Yeah.
And his book, Spying the Maven. If you guys haven't checked it out, it's still there. Get it on Amazon, all those places. But you guys know, especially if you see our brand new logo on our Twitter. So if you go to Life Gaming Pod on Twitter, check it out, or Facebook. We have our brand new beautiful logo made by our third chair, because Mario and Luigi, who would they be without their Wario? That is right, Mr.
Oh, come
Chris
on.
White.
I get worried. You know what? That's fair.
It could be
That's
Princess
fair.
Peach.
That's fair. That's
That'd be
fair.
Mario. He's like he's like the negative guy that just hates everything. So
Listen. All right, I've turned over a new leaf. The last time, listen,
Pokemon
guys.
a new leaf.
That's
Animal Crossing.
Things have changed. A year ago when we were doing the show, I was really disappointed with the Switch. I didn't want to play it because it was garbage. And now we've come a whole year, and
you feel
wait a second. Exactly the same way that I feel. So yeah, this is going to be a great show, and I am glad to be back podcasting with you guys.
Oh my gosh, you guys! Hopefully, all you listeners out there have missed this a little bit. It's so strange because if you guys remember, this is not even close to like the amount of people responding. But Cyberpunk 2077, right? They hadn't posted anything on Twitter for 5 or 6 years. They posted on Twitter, and all they said was "beep," and people flipped out. Well, for Life of Gaming, I just randomly posted about how we're going to blow the dust off this cruise of video game awesomeness, and all these people started responding. I'm like, we haven't tweeted in over a year, and we still have 200 Twitter followers. I'm like, what is going on?
It's insane. I know. They just love us.
And then people are like, come back. Because people have been asking us to come back, especially Jacob Rush. If you guys know Nintendo Nostalgia, if you don't listen to that show, check it out. It's fantastic. He's been a guy championing us forever to come back.
And I'm really disappointed. He's not in the chat right now watching. I could not even think of a thing that he should be doing that would even compare to watching our
Twitch and watch.
All his wife did was have a baby today. So it's not like
his wife. I know, but his wife had a baby. He didn't have a baby. He should be watching. Jacob, where are you at? Come on.
See what happened, guys?
Through the ocean.
Jacob, they had the baby this morning. He's like, man, this day can't get any better. And I said, Chris, hold my drink. Watch this. Boom! Life of Gaming is back.
But to be fair,
and we just made his day even better.
to be fair to Jacob, I did heard that they named it was a little boy and they named him Life of Gaming. So I think
for short.
We'll give him a pass. That's fine. That's fine.
It's long, it's big, it's heavy as wood. Okay, guys, we're gonna get rolling into the show. It's been so long to get the crew back together. It's fantastic. We haven't done this in forever. So we're gonna kick things off with what we've been playing. And I mean, Brent, what have you been playing for the last 12 months?
Just about everything under the sun.
Okay, what are some of the highlights lately? What have you been doing?
Let's be current here. Fallout 76. I know.
I'm going to be talking about that too. Love it.
Yeah. I don't get all the hate, James. Do
I don't
do
do.
you see?
I don't either. Dude, the game is. Oh my gosh, I don't.
It's beautiful. It's like one of the most beautiful games that Bethesda has ever made. Like I was just standing on the Vista, just looking out over the West Virginia wasteland, and it was just like, wow, this is gorgeous.
Now, Brant, you got a 4K set, right?
Right. Yeah.
I do too. We're both playing. Like I'm playing on the X, and you're playing on a PS4 Pro, right? We're both playing on 4K TVs. The game looks great. I don't know what anybody's talking about.
The sunshine, it's beautiful. And then I was in some type of radiation storm, and it was like lightning and everything. It was it was enthralling. But yeah, I really don't I really don't see the problem, because I think it's really cool how you run across just random people and then they'll help you like real life players. I think that's really a novel idea, and it's pretty sweet when it happens. The main backlash is with the NPCs, but I'm not really having a problem with that, really. There's storytelling through the notes. Like I just love exploring around. Like those are my types of games, so I don't. Then you're getting quests just thrown at you constantly, so it's pretty amazing actually. So but
I'll pick up on my Fallout 76 notes here in a second. But what else you been playing, man?
I started The Messenger today. Okay, shout out to my Nindy Nation show, which you should go check out.
Check that out.
Everything Nindy. Shameless plug. But The Messenger, I just started that because my co-host Jeff, he recommended it very highly. And man, I'm not even to the good part that he was talking about. I'm still to the 8-bit part, but I'm loving it. It's just like a Ninja Gaiden from the NES era. It controls better.
And that's the game that changes like almost like graphical generations, right?
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. Yeah, it's further in. That's a lot of people don't really think about that. You have to go that far. They'll just like, okay, this isn't what I thought, so they'll just give up. But I hear you have to get to that part to really appreciate it. So yep, that's what I'm trying to get to, and yeah, I'm having a good time with it. I've been playing, like I said, tons of Nindies. I guess we haven't been here since Celeste. That's probably one of my game of the year.
Celeste is so good. That game was fantastic.
I want to still get the Mark of the Ninja. That's another top Ninja.
Is great.
There's just so many games that I could hit on. But
dude, I love Clay. Man, Clay makes so many good games that like no one really talks about them, because they made Mark of the Ninja, they made Shank, they made Don't Starve, they made what's that game called? Not Floor's Lava. What's that new game called? Batteries Not Included or something. Like they have so many good games, and like no one talks about them.
It's amazing. Yeah. So I'm that for big AAA stuff though. It's been Fallout 76, Spider-Man. I've been playing on and off. I just love going around that world, just web zipping. It's so intuitive and just so fun. Cool. And then
did you get the DLC?
War, of course. No. I've just been on and off. It's been one of those games that if I just want something quick to play, open world, then I can just get in, just relax, and it's great. And then, like I said, God of War, that's probably the game of the year right now. It's just flawless on every level with the combat, exploration, everything like that. So,
Now, the funny thing is, for God of War, for me, like, as you guys know, I sold my PS4, needed the money, didn't really play it. And I mean, 95% of my gaming is on Xbox anyway. So I still got my Xbox and my Switch. But before I sold my PS4, I played through God of War and I enjoyed it. But to me, it's like, what God of War was that fast combat, right? And like, it wasn't about world exploration. It wasn't about like this up close third person heavy story. Like it was just about the craziness of just like attacking. And like, that's what I loved, all the building the combos and all that stuff. And I feel like the new God of War, it kept Kratos, but like everything else changed. And so to me, it was a good game. But
as far as like stepping up Kratos, like personifying him, it just put him to another level. Like he was just like, I'm going to kill you.
That's why I enjoyed it. Like I enjoyed it.
Now he has a personality. I can get that child bonding aspect. Plus, I think that, like you said, with the combat, it's all from one camera angle. So it's always behind it. It's just great because when it goes to the cinema-like mode, it just goes around him. It's all one camera angle the whole way. And I'm just thinking, man, the design of this game is just
it's very impressive. Yeah, absolutely impressive.
Yeah, it's definitely up there with Game of the Year. There's so much more I've been playing, but those are some of the heavy hitters. So I'll let Chris or you go next.
Chris, you want to go first? You want me to hit it first?
I mean, mine's probably short and sweet, so I can jump in. I've been playing a lot of not a lot. I've been playing Pokemon Let's Go, which I love. It is my currently my game of the year. But I really don't like playing on Switch, and so I haven't played as much as I really want to.
Wait. One thing you gotta tell though, how many Switches do you own now? Chris, is our last show.
I own one. So I pre-ordered.
Slimmed down.
I pre-ordered and bought 5 Switches.
Five Switches,
and I have one.
I didn't even know it's that much.
Yep. I have one. So Let's Go is fantastic. I would have much rather played it on the 3DS at this point. But it's everything I wanted. It is, in my opinion, the perfect Pokemon game, and I love it. So I'm having a ton of fun with that. I'm trying to play. I will say this. The one mode in Switch that I haven't really appreciated until now was the tabletop mode. I never played. I was pretty much a handheld only gamer for a long time, and then I started working from home. I got a new job and started working from home, and then I kind of transitioned to a dock only player because I didn't have to go to work and I had to take it with me, which was cool. And so, now that we're down to one Switch, I have a dock in the other room, so I've been playing it tabletop while I work. I have it on my desk so I can play, on off and on through the day. And tabletop mode actually works really cool. And with Pokemon, forcing you to use motion controls and using the Joy-Con, it actually doesn't bother me too much. But yeah, so I'm playing a lot of that, and that's really it, man. I got Red Dead. I'm super excited for Red Dead, but Red Dead demands a lot from you, and I just don't have the time right now to jump in. So I've only played about an hour of it. I haven't even finished chapter 1 at this point, and so I plan to really put a lot of time in that. Coming up, my wife is about ready to give birth to our 5th child, and so
babies everywhere.
How do you have time?
So I know, but I will actually, I'll be off of work and stuff, and I'll be home, so I'm hoping to jump into that around Christmas. I'll have some break time and stuff at work, and but yeah, so I played the first hour. I mean, it's everything I wanted it to be. I just haven't had a chance to really dive in too much, and that's really about it. I beat Lego DC Villains, and now I'm going back for my 100% run. I'm about halfway through of 100%ing all the levels. It's not my favorite, but so yep, and yeah, that's probably about it.
Cool. Yeah, I guess to pick up on Josh's Fallout 76 stuff, been playing a lot of 76. Not a lot, because I think part of the problem for some people is they're sitting down with the game, they're playing it for 6-7 hour stretches, they're just sitting down doing nothing but playing it. But the way I've been playing it, just with my schedule, I'll play 20 minutes here, an hour here, maybe an hour and a half there. I'm playing it in these little chunks, and because of that, every time I jump into it, I'm really appreciating it. And I think part of not having the story is actually, yes, there's a story, and you're following the holotapes and the notes and all that stuff, the computer screens. And I actually just finished my firefighter exam. So I've done all the police exams and the firefighter exam, because for those who don't know about, are you doing the story? Are you going through the actual story?
I must be going on. I'm going off the beaten path a lot. So maybe
cause I have too, but I went back to the story recently and started playing through it, because you join this group called the Responders. It's one of the very first things you do in the game. And the responders are the police officers, the firefighters. I think it's something else. And I finished the police officer stuff a while ago, and tonight I finished the firefighter stuff, where you get a full-on firefighter uniform. I just got my first.
I haven't done any of that. That's funny.
I'm
level 9.
I'm level 12. I think I just hit 12.
Okay.
And so I got a full-on. I just got my first set of power armor, because when you go to the area where you have to fight you don't really fight a fire. You go into this exploding mine, and there's fire everywhere. But you go in there with your firefighter suit and stuff. When you come out, there's power armor there. So I collected it. I put it in my stash.
That's what I'm waiting for.
At my camp, I put it in my stash, because I don't think I'm the level high enough to use it yet. Or if I am, I just don't have what I need to make it work. But I'm loving it. It is Fallout through and through, 100%. It's super glitchy. Oh my gosh, I can't tell you how many problems I've had in that. But the thing is,
that's the funny part. I haven't had near as many glitches. I've had slowdown.
I've had slowdown too. But I've had things where enemies will literally they'll be frozen in the T pose.
Oh, I did have one moonwalking.
They've had that stuff happen. I had one enemy where it turned into this big long skinny line. And it was attacking.
Slender Man.
But because it was the skinny line, I couldn't shoot it, so I just had to keep running and running. It was a dog, and I had to keep running until it disappeared.
That's man.
I've had a time where like items will just like I had one time where a scorched, his feet were just hanging through the ceiling, and like I just shot up at him and took him out. Like there's all these
There's
weird
someone
things.
stuck in a refrigerator.
Yeah, so there's been a lot of weird stuff, but the thing is,
Yeah.
it doesn't dampen my time with the game. I'm still absolutely loving every minute with this game because it's still Fallout. You still feel like you're in Fallout. You like just exploring that world is so good. I just love
that's
that.
the best part. That's what it's
so
all
much
about.
Yeah, and it's fantastic. And I had this one experience with this guy named William. I was doing a quest. He ran up and goes, "Hey man, how's it going?" And it was while I was streaming actually on my Mixer stream. So follow Jamester0722 on Mixer. Shameless plug. But if you this guy named William ran up to me while doing a quest and goes, "Hey man, isn't this what we do? We can join each other, right?" I'm like, "Sure." And we hopped in together, and he was a few levels behind me. So we started doing his quest. And so I was getting all the gear and experience while doing his quest again because I'd already done them. Yeah. But dude, I'm like, this is great. Like, this is absolutely fantastic. And I wish it had crossplay because I know people playing on PC. You're playing on PS4. I'm playing on Xbox.
Let's get Overwatch on that. Yeah, that's another one I've been playing.
Dude, Overwatch is so good. Oh, dude. Oh, my gosh. So Ash, they added, dude, since we played, or since we last had our episode, they added Ash, they added
John Wrecking Ball. Yeah.
Yep, Hamster. Was there a third one? Was just those two?
No, there was someone else.
They also added Baguette.
Yes, they added Brigitte, my new number one character. So they've added 3 characters inside Brigitte.
I like Mora. Mora, I think, came before.
Oh yeah, she may have come right around the time.
I don't know. I love her, man. On offense,
dude, it's so good. Like there's Overwatch. I'm going to plan on talking about Overwatch, but dude, I love Overwatch. Even Chris likes Overwatch. Chris hates everything.
No, he used to hate. Well,
I did hate it.
If you go back and listen to our game show, was it Game of the Year 2015?
2016.
Yeah, because Overwatch just turned 2 years old. So
I was adamant that game should not be nominated, but it is absolutely one of my favorite games probably ever at this point.
Just balanced, yeah. You can be anyone and still be successful.
That game is fantastic. Yeah, but other than that, I'm actually playing Fall 76. But my wife and I, we played through all the Overcooked games. So we played the Overcooked 1, Overcooked 2. We got 3 stars on everything and all the DLC. Dude, that game is awesome. We really love that
hard.
So hard for me.
Yeah. You're gonna get divorced next week.
Dude, actually, that game is great because it teaches my wife and I are working together. Like, okay, you do this, you do that, and it's great. It's like this marriage bonding game, right? It's fantastic.
Marriage. Bonding.
No, but we also been playing a lot of Lego games. So we played through. I don't know if we played through these. We probably did over the year. Lego Jurassic Park, Lego Marvel Heroes 1 and 2. We just recently started Lego Batman 3. Really having a lot of fun with those.
Yeah, they're great.
But like this year for me, when over the year, I played Detroit. Detroit is fantastic. Played God of War. Played what else did I play? Oh, Until Dawn. Got to play Until Dawn for the first time this year. There have been a lot of really
Detroit.
good games.
That's another one. That's just
Detroit was great. I really
we can't talk about it all in this one.
But we're going to talk about my favorite game of the year. It's so funny. Nothing like you guys. My game of the year is probably still Monster Hunter World. Like I'm a huge fan of Monster Hunter. I love that game. I put so much time into that game. And this is the first time people like Chris picked it up and Andrew picked it up and Brant. I think you even got it.
Yeah, I have it.
So many people got
Monster Hunter. I haven't put enough time in.
Being a longtime Monster Hunter fan, to see people, it's the best-selling game, the fastest-selling game in the franchise. We got a Monster Hunter movie coming, which doesn't look that great, but hey,
it's $60 million budget.
Yeah, it still shows that the property is actually popular, which to me is awesome because it's going to become more accessible. It's going to become a bigger deal. Like it was Capcom's best-selling game of the year, so I'm super hyped about that. I mean, I love Monster Hunter just to see it get that recognition. Fantastic. That's such a good game. But okay, I mean, is there anything else you guys have been playing? Anything else you guys want to talk about?
Like I said, I've been playing a lot. You've been playing a lot. Chris has been playing little.
A little bit. He plays Pokemon a little bit, and he does. I can't see him play Overwatch.
Yeah. So I love Overwatch and Fortnite. I play both. I probably play Overwatch, Fortnite, and Forza Horizon 4.
Oh, Fortnite! Oh, I forgot about Forza. So good.
I mean, I play all 3 of those games at least once a week. Yeah. So those are my standards. Sure, absolutely.
Sweet.
Cool. Okay, guys.
We could talk about our Sea of Thieves. But
So, well, Sea of Thieves is very mixed for Chris and I. I guess we can get into this now. Why not? Sea of Thieves. It feels like we've had it forever. It came out in March, right?
It came out in March.
Because when we started it, Chris put more time in the game than anybody I knew, and all he did was literally park the boat over and over.
And I am the man.
He's very good at sailing. He would just like park the boat over, and he got really good at it.
He was parallel parking that boat, man.
He was, and that game to me, it was so much fun. Like me and Chris and Andrew Gonzalez over from Xbox Enthusiast and my coworker Drew from work, we'd all just get together and play this game. It was so much fun. We were putting hours and hours and hours into it. And they've been adding to it and adding to it and adding to it.
Yeah.
But the last 2 times Chris and I have tried to hop in, the balancing is all whack. The first time we played, we just got destroyed by enemies like over and over and over again to the point we couldn't collect treasure. We're like,
happened?
Nope, we give up. And then this time we hopped in, was it 2 days, 3 days ago?
Yeah, 2 or 3
and it was like right before Thanksgiving, maybe Wednesday.
Yeah, Wednesday.
And lightning. We got caught in this lightning storm, and it kept zapping our boat over and over. Like
I got struck
on your boat.
He got struck 16 times. And what we're doing was sailing to destination, and like our boat sank. We lost all our treasure, and then not only did our boat sink, we lost all our treasure. As soon as I respawned, it respawned me over the sinking boat. There were 3 sharks around me, and I instantly died again. I'm like, nope.
That is hilarious.
I'm done.
It's just somehow
that's hot. They sort of ruined it.
That's a game. I feel like if they rebalance it, I would love to play it again because it's a fantastic game if it's balanced right. Like that's one of the most beautiful games I have ever played. It's got fantastic water, fantastic lighting. It is so good.
So I bought the Sea of Thieves special edition Xbox One controller, and on Wednesday after that game, I uninstalled that game and I went back to my classic white controller. I'm done. I'm done with Sea of Thieves.
Wow. Love-hate relationship is strong.
I feel like if they bounce it again, I would 100% hop back in. That game's great.
We'll see.
Okay, guys. With that, we're going to hop into our news section and what we call Captain's Log. I haven't done that.
There's that pregnant pause.
I had to do it. I haven't done that forever.
Frozen.
Okay.
I was worried.
Now, it's been a really, really long time. Like I said, our last episode 83, December 3rd, it's been a while. So a lot of news has happened. So I figured I was just going to hit on just like the big major stories for each, right? Just of what's going on recently.
Yeah.
One quick story we'll just hop off of here, Xbox. Because at E3, Xbox said, hey, we know you guys want exclusives. We're going to acquire some studios. And so went ahead and they showed off
they acquired.
And then recently at XO, they acquired even more studios. So Xbox went from, I think it was 4 or 5 studios. They now have 13 studios making first-party exclusive for them.
A baker's dozen is what they call it, James. A baker's dozen.
Okay. But all that makes me think of is kind of funny. Okay.
Oh, my bad.
But no, so I mean, they started off with what we always knew. I mean, 343 Studios doing Halo, Rare, with Conquer Banjo and Sea of Thieves, and then Mojang with Minecraft, Coalition with Gears of War. Like those are studios we already knew about, right?
Right.
Well, now they officially acquired Turn 10. They do Forza Motorsport. They acquired Playground Games. They do Forza Horizon, which, I agree with Chris. I think Forza Horizon is the better racing game.
They're also working on an open world third-person game.
Right, so we don't really know what that is yet.
The loose rumor was that they were going to be tackling Fable.
Right, but actually another studio I hop into here in a second. The new rumor is that they're doing Fable. Okay.
Maybe, we'll see.
They also acquired Undead Labs. So they do the State of Decay games, which is a good. I mean, the State of Decay games are fine; they're fun, but they're very buggy. I mean, I think they're probably buggier than the Bethesda games. Yeah, they're fun though. I mean, they're good. They're resource management games. I mean, they're fun. But so who knows what they'll come up with next?
You have to imagine. I mean, coming into Microsoft though, like Microsoft is going to be pouring money into these studios.
Exactly.
So So I think what they see is like these guys have potential. We can help take them to the next level, which is
right. And actually, speaking of potential, they also picked up Compulsion Games. I think We Happy Few is actually their very first game because that was a Kickstarted game.
Yep.
And that's now on everything. So whatever they do next, it's going to be on
There's potential. There's potential there.
Yeah,
that game had a lot of potential.
Yes, We Happy Few is a game I was super hyped for, right? But it took so long from the Kickstarter to release that I just kind of forgot about it. Yeah. And then it came out to, I wouldn't say mediocre reviews. It was like around the 7s. Yeah. And I'm like, someday when it goes on sale, I'll pick it up. So now Black Friday sales are going on. Maybe I'll pick it up soon. But that's a game I agree. Tons of potential. It's going to be great because now they got, like Chris said, Microsoft money poured into the studio.
Yep.
It should be good. They also picked up this. I thought was a pretty big deal. Ninja Theory.
Yeah, this is big.
Ninja Theory. They did Hellblade. Snow Sacrifice. That game was. Oh my gosh! I played that game with headphones. I'm like, this is phenomenal.
Yeah, you gotta have headphones.
This is phenomenal. That game was. It looked. That's short. It's only like 4 or 5 hours long. Super short game, but my gosh, atmosphere in that game is just fantastic.
I just think if they make that over a full-fledged game.
I still haven't played that. But wait, isn't Ninja Theory also did Enslaved, right? And then
yes,
and I love
Enslaved is so good. Yeah, with Monkey and I can't remember what the girl's name was.
Yeah, sure.
But no, that if you haven't played that game on Xbox 360 or PS3, go check it out. That game is really, really good. It's not backwards compatible either, which is kind of surprising. With them picking up, not yet, right? Not yet. Okay, they also picked up. Let's see, who else did they get here? In Exile. Now I don't really know what they do. Brant, you said you know In Exile more than I do. I thought they do RPGs.
They're more like tactical RPGs, yeah. Or I'm thinking of Obsidian.
No, Obsidian. They also got Obsidian. Yep. So Obsidian, the one game I really know them from is Fallout New Vegas.
Yeah, those two developers really work on the tactical side of their RPGs. So those are two. They could make some great games if they combine. I would like if they combine those two studios to make just one super RPG.
RPG.
First person. Yeah, first.
Obsidian did KOTOR, right? Is that not right?
I think they did.
They may have,
or maybe the second.
No, that's some BioWare.
It's BioWare, but somebody else made the second one, didn't they?
I can't answer that. I don't know.
Google on your phone.
I'll look.
But actually, as Chris was talking before, the rumor now is that Obsidian is the one doing Fable, which I could see. But Fable's a dormant series for Xbox. They got to bring back. It's just too big of a property.
Certainly.
Yeah. The other one they did or didn't.
Yeah. So they did KOTOR 2.
Okay. Wow. It's a pretty big deal.
Yeah.
But the one they're actually making, the brand new studio, is called The Initiative. We know nothing about it. All we know is they're grabbing like top heads of studios from all these places.
That's
the new recent rumor. The director from Sunset Overdrive just joined The Initiative.
And so that's some
big names are coming in.
The one from the Southern California studio that they planted, because that's where a lot of they can hire some great talent in that area. I forget what city it is, but yeah, they can really make an awesome. That's probably where they'll get their, heavy story-driven third-person action type of game.
Hey, real quick, I just wanted to. We have a dude in the chat. His actual name is dude, and he actually said that they Obsidian made the second South Park game as well.
Oh, they did. That's right.
Stick of Truth. Yeah, so that's a great.
Yes.
I just want to make sure we had that.
You. Yeah, that
awesome, dude. Actually, dude is fantastic. He always hosts my Mixer streams and is always in the chat. Awesome, man. Thanks for joining us tonight. But the others, I'm trying to think. Oh, actually, this just in. Wait, what's that? What's that? They acquired one more studio. Who is it? From Software. I'm just kidding.
Trigger.
Oh my god. when the rumor was going around that they may acquire From, Brant was just like, no, I will lose all respect for that studio.
Sellouts.
Oh my god,
that'll never happen. Miyazaki knows better than that.
I think for me, I think I'm most excited about the new studio. I mean, they're picking up great talent, and I mean, they're right there in Santa Monica. They're pulling in talent from Red Dead and the GTA teams and the Spider-Man team.
They're setting up for the future.
It's going to go well.
Yeah, and pretty much it's going to keep Sony, not from resting on their laurels and just, make them work. So that's a good thing.
As long as they stop making Crackdown games, we'll be all right.
Hey, that was a free download. I downloaded it.
Crackdown 1. Yeah, I don't know if it's free anymore.
Oh, Crackdown 1 was fantastic.
Crackdown 1, yeah.
Oh man, but who knows? These might not even be exclusive. I mean, because they have Minecraft, right? They let everybody use it. They let everyone use every character.
My only trepidation with
we don't know if it's going to be exclusive or not.
Like I said, my only trepidation with Microsoft acquiring all these studios is we have not really seen them take advantage of their first-party studios. Like Gears of War and Halo, yes, those are great.
Right.
But everything else, like from Fable to Sunset Overdrive, I mean, just all this other AAA third-party stuff, they have not handled well. And they've had, like, the one from Capcom with the dragon.
Oh, Scalebound. That was Platinum Games. From the
right. It's I'm just worried with acquiring Rare and then driving that into the ground until just recently.
And now they're bringing it back. I know Sea of Thieves is the first glimmer of gold, right? A little bit of
that's the main trepidation, but I think it's time to get it right. It sounds like they're
because now Phil Spencer's the one in control now, and like this generation's been in like the turnaround. Look at what they had. I think it was Don Matrick at the beginning of the generation. Look at the turnaround from what he launched the system with to where they are now in the 5 years, 6 years, how long? 5 years, I think. Xbox One's been around.
Yep.
Phil Spencer. Phil Spencer is now part of like the round table of like Microsoft executives sit around and talk about what's going on with videos. Yeah. So this is the first time ever they've allowed video games as part of one of the main pillars of Microsoft, and now they're acquiring studios. They actually see profit there, which is good. But okay. Speaking of the future, Brant, what's going on with Sony? Because recently, Sony announced they're not going to be at E3. What's up with that? It's definitely the biggest bombshell of the year for Sony.
Yeah, I was disappointed at first because I always loved seeing their press conference. It's always the highlight of E3, but the more I think about it, I think that they okay, minus this year, okay? Minus this year.
What, you didn't like Mr. Flute Man?
Dude, don't diss on the Flute Man.
You mean you didn't? You mean the year where they came out and announced that there was a Kickstarter campaign for a 10-year-old game that nobody ever wanted to play?
Wait, that was years ago.
When I could yell in James' face,
I'll never get that E3 in your face. I'll never get that. That was so funny.
I think that you're just seeing these large studios moving away from E3. It started with Nintendo, and now it's Sony.
And then EA. It's a relic. EA backed out too, didn't
they? EA does their own thing, and they're just seeing this as a relic of the past in a way. And given a few years, I don't think E3 will be near the same. It's only popular because they let the public in this year. Before then, it was just the press, and it was even going down before then. They had to pump this thing back up, and that's why they allowed visitors in. Pump you.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're seeing a couple of big changes. I think number one, E3 started as a press event for, basically to sell shelf space for the holiday season. Right. I mean, that's really, it's a trade show. That's what it started off as.
Right. Yeah.
And we are becoming more and more of a digital market. And the more we become digital, the less concerned we are about if Walmart or Target are going to have enough space to carry copies of our game. Right. And so that that's one. The other thing is that in Nintendo, I honestly, I think Nintendo's kind of pioneered this. But the idea is that, when you go to E3, you are sharing that headspace with literally hundreds of games. And Nintendo's learned that, hey, we can just in the middle of February, drop an hour show, and everybody's going to be clinging to, to their computer on YouTube. They're going to watch, and this is the only content that's coming out. Apple does the same thing. Whenever Apple has an announcement, they just had a Mac event, a few weeks ago where they announced a new iPad. They're just like, hey, guess what? We're having an event. They send out invites, they bring the press in, and then they announce their new products. Like, there is no reason that Sony can't really do the same thing. Sony can just, they already even have an event set up in December that they could utilize, or they could just wait until August and be like, hey guys, guess what? Here's an hour-long digital presentation where we're going to show you all the games that you're going to have this, this fall. And so it just putting all of your games up against three other major platform holders and hundreds of indie games and third-party developers, you just get lost in the shuffle. Unless you spend a ton of money to
those
stand
games
out.
get lost too. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. I mean, the quote from Sony when they asked them why, They said they're going to be exploring new and familiar ways to engage our community in 2019. Because this year, it's interesting because they didn't have PSX. Next year, they don't have E3. So literally between now and the end of the year, next year, there's nothing planned.
Two things you can gloss from this is that, first of all, the PS5 is real and it's going to be out in 2020 at the latest, probably. I could even see it coming out in 2019, at the end of 2019. And then secondly, this puts all the pressure on Microsoft because they're the only studio at E3. So they have to really hit it out, I mean, they have Ubisoft there, but I'm talking like the big three, This is their platform now.
Now, Nintendo is there. Nintendo is there. They still have Treehouse Live. They still have a bunch of the games on the show floor. So Nintendo's still there. They just don't have a stage press.
Right, the stage
press. They still have that Nintendo because when Sony said they weren't going to be there, Reggie Fils-Aimé came out and said, we're so excited to be at E3 next year. We got so many things to show. So they are going to be there.
And so did Phil.
Right.
Yeah. And I think that may have surprised me more than anything. Like I get toning it down because you're just kind of yelling into a void, but just to not show up at all, even if you don't have a presentation, just to have a show floor where press can walk around and play games that you're working on. I mean, it does. And again, I'm not a Sony fan. I don't really know what's going on in their stable. I'm not trying to project that they have something or don't have something, but from the outside looking in, it's almost like they just don't have anything worth showing. And if that's not the case, that is definitely the perception by saying we're just not even going to come. We're not even going to set up and show you anything because we don't have anything to show.
I definitely think they'll be back for the year after, and that's PS5, when they'll reveal the PS5.
Because here's what I'm wondering: the big rumor, which is more than likely true. All those big titles are all going to move to PS5, all of them. So Last of Us 2, Death Stranding, the Ninja
Ghost
game
of Tsushima.
I don't know because
I think all those are going to come out next year. Actually, most of those. I think Death Stranding is a PS5 game.
Because a lot of the rumors, the reason they're not coming to E3 is all the games they've been raving about like for the last few years are now no longer coming on this generation. So they're like, wait, we're stopping. We're not even going to talk about them anymore. Because what would it be like if they have those same games at E3 again for the third year in a row, and then next year they go, all those preference conferences, don't worry about them. They're all on PS5 now. Because like those games you wanted to buy, it's now going to cost you $500 to play this game. Like they don't want that. They don't want that to happen.
Yeah. And it has to be backwards compatible.
Right. If they can push it out, off the side, so people don't think about it, they'll probably have a better transition, more smooth. Just smooth that over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so. Well hit on. Yep.
What about the PSVR 2 rumors that are going around? You think that's going to hit anytime soon? Or you think that's a PS5 thing?
I think that's a sort of, like I said, I think the next E3, they're really going to hit hard on these things. They're going to have, boom, this PSVR 2, and then all these games here. I think it's just going to be like an explosion. And throughout next year, they'll just sort of hit on, probably have like a PSX, a few of those events where they can just highlight some releases. Mm-hmm. So that's what I envision for them. But they're all right. This isn't a death knell.
No. Dude, the PS5 is still trouncing everybody. Or PS4, sorry. Yeah. It's still trouncing everybody. And no one's going to catch up this generation. They're just not. I think Xbox and Switch are probably going to be somewhat even for the rest of the generation. But PS5, or keep saying PS5, PS4, no one's going to come close to it. There's not.
Right.
Too far ahead. It's like, it's like on Cool, because here's what happens. Remember the movie Cool Runnings? At the beginning of the movie, one guy wants to be a track star in the Olympics, and they fire the gun, right? And they take off.
Rhythm. Feel the rhyme.
And one guy trips over the other guy, and they roll on top of each other, remember?
I remember that.
Those guys, that's Microsoft and Nintendo. Because at the beginning of this generation, we had the Wii U, and we had Xbox shooting themselves in the foot. And so then Sony just went, and he just took off, and he's waving his flag at the end of that race. That is what happened this generation, because Microsoft and Nintendo just tripped each other. I mean,
what's the main coach's name?
I can't remember.
John Candy.
John Candy.
Yeah. I thought you had his name.
He's just waving his flag. Yeah, He's leading them to victory right
That's
there.
right. That's right. Because next generation's gonna be so close because all three companies are like lining themselves up to win. So it's gonna be crazy, man. The fists are gonna be flying,
Awesome.
man.
That's awesome.
But okay, on to some Nintendo stuff. Nintendo Switch this year has been an interesting year. A lot of people are calling this the second year slump, just for the fact that everything coming out is stuff that was either already on Wii U and re-released, or it's also on everything else. Because if you look at the big exclusives, we got like Mario Party, Octopath, and Smash. I think that's it. Right?
Kirby.
Oh yeah, and Kirby. Yeah. So a lot of the exclusive people are saying they just weren't hitting. Because I mean, the very first year we had Zelda, we had Mario Odyssey, we had Splatoon 2. Look at these.
They had their heavy
games.
Yeah.
And this generation felt kind of lacking because of that. But the biggest game of the year for Switch is launching December 7th, and that is Super Smash Bros. Ultimate.
Chris would like a word with you.
We haven't talked about this game at all on the show because it wasn't even a glimmer in what Sakurai? That who does that? I can't remember his name. It's a glimmer in his eye when we ended our last show. I mean, or in the Inkling Girl's eye. Because remember that's how the first Smash trailer happened.
Yeah, that's right.
But since then, we now have 76 confirmed fighters. It was like, what character's going to be in it? I don't know. And Sakurai's like, you know what? Let's just do them all.
I think Solid Snake's back. Yes.
I think we can all agree that that's about 70 characters too many. So, you know what I mean?
Then you're going to love.
Who's your person?
My person is Xbox.
Oh my gosh.
Now,
here's the thing I will say. I bet if Banjo came in this game, an Xbox character, Chris would be like, oh my gosh, it's the greatest game of all time.
No. I still think Banjo would not really be that big of a deal. I think that it's a very small. I think it's a very small, very loud number of people that want Banjo, and I think everybody else could care less.
I think it'd be great. I think Banjo would be
I mean, it'd be fine. I
want Crash Bandicoot.
Be happy to play the game. Oh, Crash!
I want Rayman.
Oh man,
give me
so many good. So many good.
Love.
Joey Ferris is in the chat. He
great.
He joined at the right time, Joey. You better hang on to what you got, son.
Joey.
Oh man.
Oh jeez.
What?
Chris is on the roll already.
But recently they had the final Smash Direct, and the thing I actually love about my job is you can take your lunch break.
You don't do anything.
Whenever you want. And so you get an hour lunch break and take whenever you want during the day. And that day it happened at 10:30 in the morning. Me and 5 other guys got in one of the break rooms and just turned on a computer, and we used our lunch break to watch that Smash Direct. And I can't tell you how many people were like, oh, because if you remember right before it happened, that leak happened, the glitch leak, as they called it, and there's supposed to be Shadow and Banjo and the Chorus Kids, and it looked real because the guy had the original Prince in the background and all that stuff. And when none of them were there, and they showed Ken and Cinnaror, and then Sakurai came out and said, "These are the last characters we're announcing." Everyone was like, "No,
that can't be true. That's impossible."
You could hear every Nintendo fan in the world groan at that point, and It's funny because we have everything in that game. We have hundreds of hours of music. We have 76 characters in this game, and people are like, "But you don't have X, Y, Z, so I'm not happy." And I'm like, "What else can you do?"
Come on, give us it all. We want it all.
Call me when I can fight as an R-Wing. That's all I want. Okay.
Oh my gosh.
That's all I want.
The Castlevania guys were.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yes.
Simon and Belmont.
That's really cool.
Simon and Richter Belmont, man, and the characters they've added are great. It's fantastic, and they already said they're doing 3 DLC packs, I believe.
Yeah.
They already have the characters picked out. They already know what they're going to be, and they're going to run through the first year and a half, I think, of release. And the first DLC character, if you pre-order it, and by pre-order, what it means is register the game before the end of the year. So, I mean, you have plenty of time. You actually get the Piranha Plant as a main character, which actually looks really cool. Yeah, I mean,
I think that's my favorite. I think that's my favorite.
Poison in the spike balls, and he does a little speller thing. And Petey the Piranha, because everyone's like, "Oh, it's Petey the Piranha." It's like, no, it's not. It's just a Piranha Plant.
We need a shy guy.
Yeah, because that's the weird thing that Nintendo's doing this generation. I have no idea why. It's like Mario Party. It's like, let's add some new characters. Who should we add? Oh, I know. Basic Shy Guy, Basic Mole, Basic Koopa Troopa,
Everybody loves
Basic
the mole.
Paratroopa. I'm like, it's not even named
Goomba.
characters. It's just like, and Goomba. It's just like regular enemies. Like, we're not even going to make them unique. It's going to be like standard guy.
The greatest omission of all, Waluigi.
Oh, man.
That is a glaring one.
That's actually that. It's really surprising because the demand for Waluigi's been so high for so long. I love Waluigi.
He's the main Mario character now.
And a lot of people say it's because Waluigi is the only game in Nintendo games that wasn't created by Nintendo. He was created by Camelot for Mario Tennis. He's the only Nintendo character that wasn't made by Nintendo. And so a lot of people are saying that's why, like, Nintendo, he's like the black sheep of Nintendo. Nobody wants him because they didn't make him.
But all the fans want him.
Waluigi is the guy that, like, kind of snuck in the back door and, like, got in the group photo and, like, oh, well, I guess he works here now.
This guy with this weird purple guy with a mustache.
Yeah. So, I love Waluigi, man. I use him in Mario Tennis and Mario Golf and Mario Kart. Like, he's great. It's so fun. It's just, wow. Waluigi, number one. Oh, my gosh.
But I have zero interest in this game, so I don't really have
that's
anything.
That's amazing. I haven't played since the Melee days, so I'm pumped. So I'm ready.
Now, I will say, I think of all the games, the Wii U was probably my favorite of all the Smash games. It played the best, had a great character roster, great stage selection. The online, well, not great. It kind of worked. And so, like, I had a lot of fun with that game. Like, I played Lucina, and I played. Now my main is probably still Ness and Lucas. I mean, I like them a lot, but it's just such a good variety of characters.
Yeah.
The only thing with Smash, though, I'm like, it's gonna take forever. You start off with the original 8 characters, and you have to unlock everybody.
I think it'll go by pretty fast, though, as you just play.
Yeah, we haven't even talked about Spirit Mode. Like, when that got launched, everyone was like, "Oh my gosh,
that sounds awful."
This is sticker mode from the 3DS Smash all over again.
I have no clue what that is, but
can we stop talking about Smash Brothers? Come on.
Okay, fine. Chris is very unhappy about Smash Brothers.
We gotta keep Chris happy.
Right, we gotta keep Chris happy.
Let's just get to something that's actually
he's the one recording the show. I mean, he can stop us at any minute. So
that's it.
That is true.
Too much Smash Brothers. I'll just fast forward the show. Nobody will know.
I can just mute everybody, and then I can be like, "Hey, I'd like to talk to you about Smash Brothers."
Oh man, one of the story I wanted. One of the story I want to hit on before we get to our topic of the week.
Joey's leaving. Tell Joey bye. Bye, Joey.
Joey.
Bye,
thanks
Joey.
for joining us,
We
man.
love you.
Thanks for sticking around for our Smash talk.
Great, Joe.
But one thing that happened this year, which was a shock to me and probably a lot of people, Telltale Games closed their doors in the most.
That came out of nowhere. Yeah.
2 episodes of the final season of Walking Dead, which was fantastic. I really liked. Telltale makes such good games, and they came out and they said, "Well, we're out of money. See you later." And they just closed their doors and kicked everybody out. No severance pay, no vacation. And they're just gone. They're like, "You got your insurance for another week. Figure it out." It's just like, what happened? They had games announced. They had, of course, the final season of Walking Dead announced. They had another season of Batman announced. They had another season of The Wolf Among Us announced. They had, like, all these things planned. Why would they plan them out if they didn't have the money to do? Like, sales had to be okay. There's a lot of
deceit going on. I think the heads up were not very did not manage the business well at all, and you could see that come through. Now you have all these developers out of the job just because the people up higher up didn't let them know what was going on. You know,
it's so disappointing because they're like, "Well, the money we needed didn't come through." It's like, you get that done before you start the game. You don't wait for your funds to come in after you start the game and just cross your fingers like, "Okay, guys, I hope the money comes in." You know, you can't run a studio like that.
As much as I enjoy their games, I also had that fatigue level, though. Like, I knew I would like their games, but when I was playing through Batman, it was just sort of like, I got through that.
I hate to be. I hate to always be the the voice of reason on the show, but Telltale has never actually made a good game.
Oh my gosh!
Whenever
that is
whenever all of your games are just total garbage to play,
oh my gosh.
Listen, Telltale writes amazing games. They have an amazing writing staff. They know how to tell stories. They should write comic books or movies, but they don't know how to build a game. Their games are glitchy. They're no frame rate. Everything, it just bugs out. It doesn't look good. It isn't fun to play. It's most of the time it's frustrating. If your game sucks to play, nobody's going to want to play it. Like, that's just the way that it is. And then whenever you build your whole entire library on licensed games where you're having to pay out royalties for every game that you make, you cannot sustain a business like that. This is not going to happen.
Yeah, and then spreading yourself out
close sooner than this.
Like, how many properties did they had? The Marvel license, DC, Borderlands.
Yep.
I mean,
they had Game of Thrones. They had Back to the Future. They had Jurassic Park. I mean, even before that, even when they first started, their first games, they had Sam & Max, they had Wallace and Gromit, they had Homestar Runner. They've never done anything but licensed properties. But the funny thing is, Chris says they don't make good games. But the year Walking Dead, the first one came out, it won and almost won Game of the Year.
But it won because of the story.
Right.
It had nothing to do with the game. Look, when you play Mario,
I enjoy playing the game.
I did too. I enjoyed playing the game too.
What is the story of Super Mario Brothers? A dinosaur stole your girlfriend and you spend 8 levels trying to find her. Nobody cares about the story, but the gameplay is flawless, right? And so Walking Dead comes in as exactly the opposite. Like, yeah, you enjoy playing it because you never know what's around the corner. You never know what choice you're going to have to make. But the actual gameplay, moving the reticule to try and shoot somebody, I mean, it feels like you're moving controls underwater. Like it's garbage.
It's garbage. But it served a purpose, though.
Right, because, I mean, people play video games for different reasons. Some people play games for the gameplay. Some people play games for the story. I mean, because the reason we have Telltale games, and why we have like Until Dawn, and why we have games like Detroit and Beyond Two Souls, like all those games, no one can go and say, man, these games play flawless. They don't. I can tell you that. I played them all. I loved them all, but I love them because I played them for the story. It's like binging a show. It's like watching all the episodes and just enjoying your experience with it. It's like a choose your own adventure book. It's not there for gameplay. The reason it's there is, like you said, Chris, to tell a good story, and that's why people enjoy them. That's why I enjoyed them. I mean, they could throw in humor. They could do, scary stuff. They could do like any kind of genre you could think of.
I'm a heavy story-driven first, just single player gamer. And that's what they told amazing stories. That's why I like the company so much in most of their games. But I can understand too that it was just too much. Like there was just you could tell there was just the quality was decreasing.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying. I mean, they were like a dollar store studio, and so whenever that is the quality of
like McDonald's
that you're putting. I mean, honestly, listen.
What fries with that?
You guys laugh that I say that. I mean, if you watched any of the reviews or any of the feedback, every time a new game came out, it was like, oh, this is a brand new engine, so it's gonna be, and then the game would come out, it's like, oh no, it still plays like garbage, and like you can only do that so many times before people stop playing the games. That's just the way that it is. There's no return on investment if you are not putting money and resources into making your product better. Period. End of story. They did not sell enough copies of a game with Batman in the title as they did Walking Dead, because by the time they got to Batman, nobody trusted that they could actually make a good game. People stopped buying it.
You heard about the glitches and stuff, and that was a real turn off.
Yeah. It's so funny because I've played every Telltale game outside of Game of Thrones. I've never run into a glitch. Not in a single game.
But
you ran into slowdown, probably.
Right, slowdown, sure. But like, I've never had my game crash. I've never had saves lost. I've never had because I've heard people saying like the connection between like the last Walking Dead season, the new Walking Dead season, nothing connected. Like I never had any of those issues. So it just depends on what you ran into, what your experience was.
I think we can all agree that Tales from the Borderland is the best game they made, and we can move on.
I need to play that.
You haven't played that? Go play.
I haven't played that one. I know.
One thing I will say, guys, if you own Telltale games and you don't currently have them installed, install them, leave them on your hard drive, because I have a feeling once the licensing is over on those games, they're getting pulled from the store, and you will not be able to download them. It will be PT all over again.
Yep,
don't let that happen. If you like Telltale games, any of the past, and you have them sitting on your, on your downloadable games you don't have installed, install them and just keep them. Don't, if you need to make hard drive space, don't delete them. Otherwise, you may never get them back.
That's a good tip. That's a good tip. I don't like to give credit to James for making really good points, but that is a good point.
Okay, I was going to go a little more on to graphics versus gameplay versus story, but we're not going to talk about that. What we are going to do, because how long have we been recording? I don't even know,
man, we're almost to an hour. Dude.
So what we're going to do is our favorite part of the show, our topic of the week. And with that, I say, hit it, Brent.
Okay, Chris, what I need you to do is go doom, 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 doom. No, wait, that's not it. That's not the beat.
Okay.
Okay.
This is great already.
There we go. Rocking and rolling. Down to the beach I'm strolling. When these seagulls peck at my head, not fun. No. These seagulls, stop it now. Do the do 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 the.
Oh my gosh!
Now do.
Oh my gosh!
Okay.
I have no idea what that was. What was that from?
That's the Seagulls. It's a Star Wars song from Alamo Drafthouse, and it's amazing.
You know what it is. Yep.
It's the best.
Oh my God.
The best.
Thanks, guys. Yep. Thanks, Brent. That was fantastic.
Chris knows what I'm talking about.
Brent,
I love it.
I am very thankful for that beautiful song that you sang. I'm not very thankful for Chris, but today, for our topic of the week, like I said many times on the show, we've been off the air for a while. And plus, 2 days ago, as of this recording, was Thanksgiving. So I'm like, let's just talk about moments we were thankful for in gaming over the year. I mean, it could be like a favorite game we played. It could be people we played with. It could be, big news drops, whatever we want it to be, just to hit, because there's just so many things that happened over the year, and just to kind of talk about that. So, because Chris, I don't think I've ever heard a positive thing out of his mouth this whole show. So I'm going to start with him, Chris.
He loves Pokemon Go.
He loves Pokemon Go. What is something you've been thankful for that just in gaming? What happened this year that you were like, that was awesome?
I'll
Sony stumbling.
I'll jump.
Sony getting out of E3.
let's be honest. When does Sony not stumble? But no. What I would say is I've actually had a really interesting year, a really cool year. And you mentioned it kind of at the top of the show with Overwatch. Mm-hmm. But I'll give a shout out right now specifically to Andrew Gonzalez, which Andrew, he's at VersaVulture89 on Twitter, and he has become a good friend. We've written with him with Xbox Enthusiast, and we hang out and stuff. But
we talk all the time. We're always playing Overwatch. We're always playing Rocket League. Oh man,
I miss out.
That's right. It's good. Yeah. Well, if you played a real console, you could do it.
I ran into that.
So what we're saying is, so this year was really the first year that I kind of jumped into kind of the multiplayer games, and it really stems from I've never really had a core group of friends that I really enjoyed playing with and stuff online, and I don't like playing with just like randos, and so I don't normally do that kind of stuff. So so I never really played Overwatch until this year. I think we actually kind of started the end of last year, but we really played a lot this year. Right, Never really tried Fortnite. This year I've tried PUBG, but really it's just been cool. I mean, literally almost every week for probably the last 6 to 8 months, I have been online with either James or with Andrew or both, or Drew, which is friend from James, Luke Lore, who's out there. We play with Luke Lore sometimes. Just people that are that are online and that will play. Joseph Moran jumps in sometimes. We play Rocket League and we play Super Mega Baseball. And this year has been the first year that I've really kind of had like this core group of people that I continually play online with. And it's been a ton of fun. Like, I love Overwatch and I love Fortnite and I love Rocket League. And I don't play any of those games at all by myself. It's funny because James is like, what level are you in Overwatch? Like 100?
I'm 112 or something.
Yeah, so James like 112. I think I just hit like 61, but I literally never play that game by myself. I only load that game up if I'm in a party with guys that want to play. No, I know, but again,
that's the beauty of it.
Yeah, the thing that I missed, 2 years ago when we were talking about game of the year is I didn't have that social circle that really enjoyed playing games together. So I'm not going to play a game like that by myself. There's no drive for me to play with just random people where I'm not communicating or talking. And but what I've seen evolve is what makes that game great, and what makes Fortnite great, and what makes Rocket League great is just friends. And I mean, we've been up to like 1 o'clock in the morning playing Rocket League, just trying to win.
One more game.
Just trying to win. And James keeps hitting the ball in our own goal.
Right.
And me,
oh, man,
and
James, I got to go to bed.
Me and James will always get a shot perfectly lined up. And then out of nowhere, Andrew comes behind us and hits it in for us. Every time. And but
he's like the master.
But honestly, like my year this year, as far as like from a gaming perspective, my year this year is filled with highlights of online multiplayer sessions, whether it's been Overwatch or Forge or whatever it is. Sea of Thieves, we played a ton of Sea of, dude. I am not kidding. I would play for 2 hours and just drive out from the dock, turn around, drive into the dock, and learn how to park right on the dock so I could step off onto the dock. And I was great at it.
He was. No one can sail like Chris.
That's right. So, but yeah, I mean,
serve him well.
For me, I'm thankful for kind of finding, a core group of guys that like gaming as much as I do, that we've been able to kind of, it's really changed the way that I've gamed this year, and I've really enjoyed it. It's been really cool.
Awesome. Brant, what do you got, man?
I'm going to go in a completely different direction with that and say that I am thankful that we are still getting this heavy single-player story-driven experiences that people thought would nearly go extinct.
Yep.
As you can see with Red Dead Redemption, which you'll be getting in online mode, God of War, Horizon, all these games still feature heavy stories that I love, worlds that I love to explore, and
Crackdown 3.
There you go. Yeah. But like I said, I just love being in certain world. Like Fallout 76, I'm playing it single player, and I'm still having a blast with it. But you still run across people, and it's just, I'm glad that style of gaming has not gone away completely, because I think there's a place for both of those to exist, and I hope that continues. Because when it doesn't, I'm going to be not into gaming as much. And I also thankful for a thriving indie scene that's just blossomed even more this past year on the Switch, especially. You're getting 15 to 20 games on every console. Indies, all these developers coming out with, and the breadth of titles have all been great. There's rarely shovelware anymore, and you're always getting something that's at least good to play. So
yeah, and a lot of that indie stuff is single player too, which is cool.
Yeah,
like Celeste. We talked about Celeste, right?
Celeste was fantastic.
Celeste
was a single player indie game.
And it has a great story.
Platform of perfection.
It's platform of perfection, but it has a great story too, which is really cool. I mean, it doesn't have to be Red Dead to be able to be played and enjoyed, from a story, and that's what's been great. I mean, we've seen the Drifter. We had Undertale, this year came to, I think that was Undertale. I think it may have been last year, but this year it came to PlayStation. This year it came to Switch, and so that's another great game. Yeah,
there's just so many games. Yep.
Okay, Brent. Well, I hit on mine to peek behind the curtain a little bit. If you got to go check on your baby, you totally gamble. I hit my next one, and Chris hits his next one.
Yeah.
Okay. While Brant is doing that, I'll kind of talk a little bit about some Xbox stuff, because he won't really appreciate it. But one thing that I'm very thankful for, just this year, what I've done, I haven't done a lot of that yet this generation, backwards compatibility. Because kind of go off what Brant was talking about with single player stuff, just going back and playing older games, because I went back and I played Dead Space 1 again, because it was a 10-year anniversary of that game in October. That game holds up so well. That game is still extremely creepy. It still plays extremely well. Yeah. Dead Space 2, same way. Awesome combat in that. And then right before Fallout 76 came out, I was playing through Fallout 3 again. Fallout 3, it's still a great game. it doesn't hold up as well as I remember in my head, but I still like Fallout 3 a lot. And a lot of it is because it was, Bethesda's first Fallout game. The maps were a lot smaller, the quests were a lot simpler, but I still had a great time playing through that again, playing through the Batman Arkham games again. I did that again this year. So just having the ability to go back and play those older games again, and don't have to pull out another system. It's fantastic. Like I love the backwards compatibility, and even the original Xbox games, going back and playing through. I want to say Mark the Ninja. That's not what it's called. Ninja Gaiden Black, right? That's the original Xbox game. That is on there. Playing through. Trying to think what else. What else did we play? I mean, but there's just so many options just to go back and play those games. And like I said earlier,
even the originals, we had Psychonauts, and we had Republic Commando, which is probably one of the most underrated Star Wars games of all time. I mean, there's
it actually to go up backwards compatibility. It was also the year of the reboot, not really reboot, but like the remaster. Right? We got Spyro. We got Crash. Did we get Voodoo Vince this year? Or was that last year?
I think that was last year.
Okay. But there's all these games that we love from our childhood that we can play again. And that I absolutely love that. The world we live in video games, you've got the old and the new, and it's just a perfect mix.
The best time to be a gamer. There's something for everyone.
100%. Cool. Well, I mean, Chris, what else, man? What else is going on this year with you?
So you guys have both given plugs, so I'll give a plug too. So I enjoy playing games with my kids. I would have absolutely sold my last Switch if it wasn't for the kids.
I thought you were going to say child.
No, I mean,
which one of you children?
Which one's worth the most?
there are those days too. No, but
I can barter down. I promise.
but the one reason that I will always keep a Switch, and the one reason that I will always buy a Nintendo console, is because that is, regardless of what anybody says, that is always going to be the best place to play with kids. And this year, we've had Kirby Star Allies came out, which my son, my 9-year-old son, loves the Kirby games. They're one of his favorites. It drives me crazy, but he loves them. And so, we played through Star Allies. We got Super Mario Party. Not too long ago, Pokemon's out now. We're playing that. We play a lot of Splatoon. He's always pumped about the Splatfest, and so we've kind of started rebranding. My own channel, which is so I run a channel called Geek Family Media. It's geekfamilymedia.com, but I've kind of rebranded a little bit to GF Toys and Games, and the kids have really shown an interest in playing and being more involved in stuff, and so I'm kind of letting them lead the channel. And what it's done is it's allowed us to play more games together, and so I've just had a lot of fun kind of connecting to them. With them.
So that Pokemon video is fantastic, man. It's so good. Yeah, I'm telling you, man, your son's gonna be like a future YouTube star, man. His riffing through that video is just fantastic.
Oh, he's so funny. Good. So what James is talking about is we've started a thing called Poke Diary, where I'm basically letting my 9-year-old son Callum play through Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu by himself, and I'm capturing the footage, and then I'm kind of scrubbing through it and cutting it down, and then we do like live commentary of it. And I just I'm there to lead him so that he doesn't go too far off the rails, but I kind of let him talk about his experience and the fun he's having, and he really responds to it, and so it's kind of been a way that we've kind of connected. But it makes me think of growing up, and look, my mom was great. She let me play video games, and she went out of her way when new consoles would come out. I got an N64 for Christmas, in '96, and it took her forever to find one, and she had to pay over
Superman 64 for you.
Yeah, no, I got it with Mario 64, and that was the only game we could afford for months. But
that's all you needed.
But I really never had, as much as she supported me in liking that, she never really kind of, took took part in it. And so I never really felt growing up like I had kind of a partner in what the things that I liked. She never really understood me. I liked comic books. I liked video games, and she never really got that, and my dad wasn't really in the picture, and I didn't really have any other male influences. And so, so it's been cool, that my kids have shown a liking to some of the things that I like. And so I get to kind of connect to them with that. And so it's been really fun. The Switch definitely has helped. And I give the Switch, its fair share of beating. And I have personally, for me, I do not like playing on the console. I think that it has some pretty big issues that I can't get past. But as a family gaming machine, it's absolutely great, and we've had a lot of fun with it. So I'm just thankful for them kind of coming into their own and really kind of connecting with games and giving us a chance to to do something that we all love. I mean, I'm podcasting right now about video games, so to be able to connect with kids on the same thing is kind of awesome. Cool.
Yeah. Brant, what else you got, man? What else is going on?
Piggybacking off of you, Chris, with the kids, just that you can see as they grow up, just their likes change. And it's so neat playing, like you said, owning a Nintendo console again, being able to play, Mario games, Mario Kart, we were able to get into that. And even on playing Spelunky, a game as simple as that. We have a blast playing that all together. And then we're going to get Mario Party soon. So
Mario Party is
we'll be sucked into that. And they've never had a chance to experience that. It's all these, I like seeing all these older type of games coming back where you can experience them again with your kids.
Yeah. Oh, and real quick too, like the NES, the Netflix, which I hate calling it that, but that's actually been really cool. My kids, strangely enough, they flipping love balloon fight, and which is the worst game in the world. It's the worst game, and they like playing balloon fight, but to be able to load up, Josh, just like you're saying, it's not just the newest thing, but to be able to load up some of these old classics that have come over. They just had the Spyro trilogy got remastered, Crash was remastered, but then you also have these NES games that are there that you can play.
Yes, NES Classic, which I have, and going back to those
NES Classic.
Yeah,
don't talk about the PlayStation 1 Classic.
We
don't talk about that here.
Come on, man. You got to do better with your classics. But we're just having fun going back to those old stuff again. Like playing Super Mario World again, 2-player.
That's awesome.
It's great.
And what's cool is that really piggybacks off what James was talking about with backwards compatibility. It's just we're living in a really cool time where there's such a breadth of the gaming history and it's not all there. There's obviously still some gems that are lost. I mean, you're pretty much still missing almost all of the PS2 and PS3 eras stuff, but really, like you get a lot of the content that's there. You're missing most of the N64 stuff, but again, you're seeing a lot of stuff kind of come back, and it's just kind of cool to be able to you can jump in and play a game that's 30 years old, and it can be sitting right next to Red Dead Redemption 2 on your dashboard. So I mean, that's
fantastic. Cool. Yeah. Cool. Well, I guess to kind of go off the family thing with you guys, one thing I've absolutely loved this year is just playing video games with my wife. Like I talked about earlier, games we've been playing, like we had so much fun playing through Overcooked 1 and 2. Like her getting excited about video games.
I hate those games. They're so hard.
It's so funny because like just her getting excited about video games. Like she'd say, "Hey, can we play Legos tonight?" Or like, "Hey, can we play this tonight?" And just having that, it's awesome. And like Mario Party. Oh my gosh, she loves Mario Party. And like Daisy has always been like her go-to character, Mario Party and Mario Kart. But with the new Mario Party, every character has their own unique dice. And so it makes it interesting because you want to pick characters for strategy now, not necessarily for the character you like.
True. Yeah.
And so it just makes for a really interesting game. And I kind of go off the video game a little bit. She bought me, I don't think I have it behind me anymore. I left it on the table. Fallout, the board game. We've been playing that recently.
Cool. It's great.
It seems super complicated, and oh my god, I can't believe she actually did this with me. But I sat down and read out the rule book so we could learn how to play. It took It took like 45 minutes to read through the rules and set up the game. No joke. And then the game itself takes about an hour and a half to play. So actually, it was Friday night. It was our anniversary, believe it or not. We just spend time together because let's play Fallout. So I'm like, okay. So like we ended our day. played Fallout the board game.
That's
and the thing that's really funny about it is the game is kind of complicated in certain places. So the first time we played it, we got half through the game. We're like, oh, this whole time we're supposed to be doing this. And so we started doing this extra rule we weren't following the whole time. Today, we decided to play it again because there's different scenarios and stuff. And because it's awesome because the board's different every time you play it because you randomize the tiles and you have different scenarios you can play through. And as you play, you get like quest cards, and those like the quest cards are numbered. And if you do the quest this way or this way, you go to a different number. And like it's actually really cool. But I really want to get the expansion. The expansion just came out this month too. And I'm like, I think I'm gonna ask for that for Christmas because the game's a blast. But now today we played it and we're like, oh, we totally understand what we're doing. So we played it this time with the right rules, and like half of the game we're like, what are we supposed to be doing with this rule? And so like each time we play it, we realize, oh, we did something wrong.
That's
and
funny.
So, but now every time we play it, but the thing that's great about the board game is Fallout. It's like, because I was looking up reviews for the game and stuff, and like what everyone was saying, like this is the closest a board game's ever come to a video game, because as you play, you're literally exploring the wasteland, you're fighting enemies, you're going on quests and side quests, you're getting radiation, you're using stim packs, you're going to cities. It's all based on Fallout 4. So, but it's awesome. And because when we got it, it's normally like $50-$60 board game, but we got it on like a sale for like $20. That's the reason we bought it, a while back. But dude, that if you like, I mean, it's kind of board game-ish. If you like board games and you don't mind long board games with a lot of rules, Fallout the board game is amazing. Like I love Fallout.
Tabletop gaming is back.
So good. Boom. Okay, guys, we've been going for about an hour and a half. I guess we'll kind of wrap it up real quick. Let's go around to one more thing. What do you got, Chris?
One more thing that we're thankful for. Let's see. Yeah, I did the family thing.
And you can't say Sony not being at E3.
Yeah, it's so hard. It's so hard for him to think of something.
You know what? Let's get sentimental for a little while.
Okay.
So I'm thankful for you guys and for Life of Gaming. So I met James through writing about 2 years ago, maybe 3 at this point. Maybe
probably 2 years, because
2015 I think was when we
because I'm trying to think. Life of Gaming went 3 years, and you were on the last year of it, right?
Yeah.
And he's been off it's about 2 years. Yeah, about 2 years.
Yeah, a little over 2 years. So, but yeah, so I met James through writing, and then we podcasted a little bit on Xbox Enthusiast, and
10 whole episodes.
Yeah, can look it up now.
Yeah, that's right. It was actually a good show, but yeah. So that kind of went by the wayside, and then James was like, "Well, I actually host another show, and if you want to come on," and so he introduced me to Josh, and it was really kind of my first full time, regular podcast appearance, and I thought we had a ton of fun.
Yeah,
I enjoy doing the show. I enjoy getting to know you guys and stuff, and then James kicked me off because I
still going.
I'm like, get out of here! I can't stand your face.
I had some really strong opinions about the Switch, and I wrote about it.
He was not kicked off the show.
James sent me a message and was like,
fake news.
Like, look, we really enjoy podcasting with you, but me and Josh just are trying to get it back to the original. So we're just not going to have you be. Maybe you can come on every now and then.
Oh my God!
We're not talking about Switch stuff, and
you'll never live it down, man.
Now you'll never live it down.
But yeah, that is not true, by the way.
But I mean, for the past 2 years, we've been on a group Facebook Messenger, and we chat. Even when we haven't been recording, we trade gaming news or just check in to see how everybody's doing. And I just I love you guys. I think this is fun. I enjoy doing the show. And I'm glad that we're kind of getting the game back together. So I'm thankful for James kind of coming to his senses. Here's the thing you guys don't know about James. James is in his early 30s. Based on his birth certificate, but his body is actually the body of an 85-year-old man, and so he normally eats. He normally gets home at 5 o'clock. He normally eats dinner at 5:15. He normally puts on his diapers and
has to read his bedtime story,
and then by 6 o'clock he's in bed. And so it's really hard for us to do this. And so
Man.
But no, you know,
it's funny because I have to get up every morning at 5 to go to work, and Chris works at home. He literally rolls out of bed at 9:30 and goes, "Well, I guess I gotta get on the computer." And I'm like,
he's in his box.
Hey, you know what? Don't hate the player, hate the game, son. Right. All right. So, but no. All kidding aside, you know, I'm glad that you know we've all kind of went through some personal stuff. You know, having more kids and just dealing with job changes in life, and to be able to kind of come back together with you guys and kind of kick this back off. I'm just excited to be here. I'm excited for what's coming next and for what 2019 looks like. And so I'm thankful for you guys and for the show.
And we thank you for being here for the final episode.
Again,
no doubt that. Hey, listen. If you are watching this, be sure to follow me on Twitter at NeoLego, because when James sends me the message that he doesn't want me back on the show, I'm going to tweet it out just so you guys all know that that's what happened.
Oh my gosh, Brant, what do you got, man? We got to get this.
Yeah,
Joker
same.
off the
Like this Joker. Just the same thing. I love you guys, and most of all, I love that this community it spawned.
Yeah.
That's so many different content creators through this. Like Joey was just on, Jacob Rush, Nintendo Nostalgia, Antonio Guillen, Gary. I could just go on and on. There's just so many people. Mike Tendo, Rapid Reviews. There's just too many to list, and they've all been influenced me with podcasting, helping me making me a better speaker, plus better writer, and someone that can better communicate overall. And that's just, I'm so thankful for that opportunity.
Yeah, awesome. and I mean, it's cool too. I mean, James, you started tweeting out about the show, and like this community, we haven't been around for a while, but the community instantly jumped on. They've been retweeting stuff that you put and liking stuff.
I will say the minute, not even 30 seconds after I tweeted about us blowing dust off the show, Eddie V was there liking it. I went, what?
Right. Eddie V. Good old Eddie.
30 seconds. It was boom. He was there.
I love that guy.
Waiting for it. But yeah.
It's like his life depended on this moment. And it just
he was just at the computer screen just waiting.
For a year and a half, he's like, I'm waiting. That tweet's going to come.
He just keeps refreshing the Life of Gaming page. It's going to happen. F5. But so we have this great, Josh is absolutely right. I mean, not only just content creators, but fans and stuff that we've met, and even just friends that we've made, along the way. And there's tons of them, right? I mean, it's not no use to even naming them all, but even we have like Dude in the chat right now, right? And Dude is, I believe, it's just kind of out of nowhere. He's been super supportive of the mixer streams that we do and stuff, and now he's here on the broadcast with us. So it's a great community, and it's nothing new. We're joining an already strong community, but yeah, I mean it's really super cool to see.
Awesome. And to kind of wrap all that up, one thing I love right now, and that's going on with the video game, just video games in general, the console wars and the walls are breaking. Because what I'm thankful for, and I have the last thing on my list, is crossplay. Because can you believe this generation, it finally happened? As of right now, we can all three of us, doesn't matter if you're on Switch, PC, Nintendo, Xbox, we can all play Fortnite together. Yep. We can all play Minecraft together. Pretty soon, within the next couple of months, we can play Rocket League together. Yep. Pretty soon, we'll be able to play Overwatch together.
Yeah, hopefully.
When that final domino falls, right? Yep. And the big third parties like Call of Duty, Madden, when that finally happens and the wall is gone, I mean, that's crazy. It no longer matters where you play. We play together. And that is, I love that. I never thought it was going to happen. And PlayStation finally gave up and said, fine.
Let go of their
play Fortnite.
their rigid ways and finally allowed it.
That's right.
Because for a while there, I knew Sony was going to come around eventually, but they were being stubborn for a while. Because I'll never forget those Fortnite commercials where it was Xbox, or no, it was Minecraft, wasn't it? Where it was Xbox and Nintendo in the same commercial. Like an actual TV commercial, Xbox and Nintendo together, and the logo at the end split down the middle, and it was green and red, and said, "Look, we play together." I was like, "Oh my gosh, what is happening?"
Yeah.
And now we got
Sony's over there in their corner.
It's crazy because most of the people I work now. One thing I actually really love about my job, it's mostly younger people. Almost everybody games, and they all game on different stuff. Now, I'm one of the few Xbox people in my office, but what is awesome, like my friend Drew at work, he plays a lot on Switch and plays a lot on PlayStation, right? But we can still play Fortnite together. He can hop on his Switch, hop on his PlayStation. I'm on Xbox. We're playing Fortnite. Like that's fantastic. That is just mind blowing, and I can't wait. I mean,
more accessible than ever.
It has to keep expanding, you know, and it's going to keep getting bigger and bigger. And eventually, the only thing that's going to matter outside of the power of the console is first-party exclusives.
Yeah.
And even then, in the future, when everything becomes streaming, which probably won't be for a couple of generations, but when everything becomes fully streaming, even power won't matter. All that matters are going to be first party exclusives and what like console like username you call home. We have all your purchases.
Yeah,
and that's all that's really going to matter.
You've got the power.
It's awesome, and I'm so happy to see that, and I can't wait to see what next generation brings. This could be fantastic.
That's gonna be cool.
But okay, guys, that was the first show in a year. We hope it was worth the hype. We know all of you have been building up inside, going, I can't wait for this show to come back. It is finally here. I have a brand new microphone. I don't know if you guys can see it or not. Got a brand new microphone here. So there's no longer that giant
Your body is ready.
So like this is, you know, we're all hyped. We're excited to be here. And I guess real quick, we'll just kind of go around and where you can find us. And also with Life of Gaming, now we have all these channels, right? So make sure you follow us on Mixer and on Twitter and on Facebook. It's Life of Gaming Pod, pretty much everywhere. We don't have an Instagram right now. I know, Chris, we talked about possibly making one, just putting some dumb photos of Josh's face up there. You know, it'd be great. You know, that's what. So with that might be in the works.
I mean, to be fair, couldn't you have just said pictures of Josh's face? Because aren't they all dumb?
Don't diss the beer, my friend.
Okay. But with Life of Gaming, before I would always tell you, find us on iTunes, find us on Google Play and all that. Right now, because we just brought the show back, the podcast servers, it takes time for it to show up on iTunes, show up on Google Play, show up on all these places. So right now, the best place to find us is going to be on YouTube. We will share the podcast feeds, like the RSS feed, on our Twitter, on our Facebook. So follow that if you want to get it first. But if you want the video version, you want the latest episode as soon as it's up, check out YouTube. As of right now, the show is just going to be once a month. We may expand that in the future. Originally, we started off as twice a month. Then we went weekly. Then we went back to bi-weekly. Then we went once a month, and then we disappeared. So now we're coming back.
We're gonna find that sweet spot. Yeah.
I mean, part of the problem is just life in general. You know, I don't have kids, but I've got a busy life. I mean, like 12, 13 hours of my day, I'm at work. So, I mean, it's just like, you know, busy life. But so just having the time to do it, it's hard to find the time, but we're making sure we find the time. So either once a month, twice a month, whatever it may be, just make sure to follow our channel. As if you follow us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, you'll know when new episodes go up. We'll let you know a little more in advance when the live stream is going to happen. I think I posted an hour in advance this time, but we'll let you know a little bit sooner ahead of time when it's going to happen.
And we're working out the kinks too, just so you know. And we're trying out different software. We're trying to figure out the best way to do live stream. And so this is all, you know, this is the first time Life of Gaming has ever been live, to my knowledge, right, James?
We've done it live before. Toward the end, we were doing live, but now just because of times are changing in my schedule, Chris is doing a lot of the editing now. The new logo, that was mostly Chris. All I really did was make the avatars and add them. But the actual logo itself, that was all Chris.
I don't even have an avatar for Xbox, so you have to.
Hopefully, actually, the real nice thing about avatars on Xbox, they're fully, like, you can move them in any way you want. They got multiple emotions, and you can save them as like a PNG with no background. You can use these high res 4K images in anything. It's awesome.
Really cool. It's really,
and so you just make an avatar and put him in a bunch of weird position faces and save it. You can put him on anything.
What position are you thinking?
Which mine is hilarious. I love the thumbs down.
It's perfect. It's the best.
Man, but as far as that goes, like I said, follow Life of Gaming everywhere you can. Twitter and Facebook are the main places right now, and of course Mixer and Twitch if you want to see our live stuff. We also have that stream hosting us. So even if we're not doing this podcast, anytime we live stream on anything, me, Chris, Brandt, Life of Gaming channel is going to pick it up and show it. So if you follow that, you can follow us. But if you want to follow me personally, pretty much everywhere, Xbox and Switch and Twitter and Twitch and Mixer and all, Jamester0722 is where you can find me. Brandt, where can people find you and like your shows and all different stuff you're doing, man? What's going on?
Yeah, pretty much right now, you can find me at Minus the Brandt, MINUSTHEBRANT. I'm across that for many consoles. On Xbox, I'm minus the brand PS, so you can add me there.
Had to put the PlayStation love
PlayStation. I thought Chris would love that. I'm doing an awesome Nindy show.
Yes, Nindy Nation is great, guys. Check that out.
With Jeff. Jeff Swan. He's very talented, and we love doing that show. There's so many great games on the Switch that we can highlight there. So please go and check that out. Yeah, like I said, I'm doing some freelance writing here and there, and just trying to stay up with that. I love gaming, so I try to stay in that hemisphere, so yeah.
So I guess I'll wrap out. Really, I just normally promote my Twitter. So I'm at NeoLego, and you can follow me there. Anything that I do, I'm a big self-promoter, so you can find all of that there. Like I said, I'm doing a lot of stuff with my kids at Geek Family Media and GFM Toys and Games. I also write pretty regularly for Ask About Games, which is a British parenting website. And I'm really trying to kind of focus on a lot of parenting stuff. So if you're a parent and you have questions or, want some feedback about games or things like that, you can definitely hit me up for that. But like I said, if you follow me on Twitter, anything that I do, I will push out there.
Chris's main parenting tip: do you beat them on the right or left cheek?
That's right. And the answer, of course, is both. It's you
gotta get
and on the paddle it says PlayStation, so he's like, kids, now you know where pain comes from.
That's right.
Oh my gosh.
My kids know that they are excommunicated from the family if they ever.
Yeah, no, he brands them with Xbox logos.
It's true. That's it. That's all I got.
We hope you enjoyed the show. Leave us feedback. Right now, the only place you can leave us feedback is probably on Facebook, Twitter, or I guess you can comment on our Twitch streams or comment on our YouTube, especially YouTube. Leave us comments there. We try to respond to all of those. Like I said, follow us all on Life of Gaming. Our next show should come in December. We're going to have a lot to talk about. At the end of the year, we talk about favorite games of the year. We talk about the Game Awards, and you have all that to look forward to. Yep. But until next time, guys, I haven't said this in a while, but we are out.
Bye.